Hello, YouTube yogis. I hope this video finds you doing well. Today we're going to talk about why we do yoga, why I do yoga. I think if you were to ask 1,000 people why they do yoga, you might get 1,000 answers, right? Like it's a very individual thing. I had some really serious mental health problems and depression, mania, drug abuse, alcoholism. Like I had all of these very, very severe things going on in my life that I had to stop. And in that process, going to drug and alcohol treatment and doing all these things multiple times and failing and, this lifestyle of just kind of harming yourself constantly and then dealing with the aftermath of all these bad choices, right? I got sober, got straightened out, whatever, and, needed something else. And ended up bumping into yoga, and anyway, the rest is history. Not only has it helped me physically with diabetes, for example, I've been medication free for years, whereas I used to have to do insulin in the tummy. To me, that's a miracle. Pretty wild that yoga cured or treated, whatever word you want to use, diabetes for me. But the other side of it is this mental health stuff. Like, you've been through all this trauma, right? I've been divorced and been to prison and been homeless and all this stuff. And the whole time I was a yoga practitioner and was able to utilize this tool to be able to moderate my mental health. To me, that is priceless, right? For example, I found myself in solitary confinement as a direct result of COVID-19. And I had lots of reasons to be angry. I had lots of reasons that I could have felt, whatever, not negative. But because of yoga, I literally got to really take time there and work on myself and my practice. And it turned into this much better experience just because of yoga, right? I don't know if I'm explaining this well or not, but what I'm trying to say is, like, the old me would have tried to be retaliatory or made it worse. Okay. I would have done something, like maybe say somebody would have aggravated me because you're in a pressure cooker, you're in prison. Next thing you know, you're in a fight, right? Now your whole situation's gotten worse because you couldn't control your emotions. And I'm saying you, but really I mean me. And so I know historically, one of my biggest flaws in life, hands down, is my ability to shut up. Okay. Hands down. Just don't talk, right? Now, if that resonates with you, you are my brother or you are my sister. The rest of y'all, I'm jealous as hell. But the point is that there's a lot of times where if I just did nothing, it would help so much. Okay. Particularly when you're in jail, it's good to be quiet. Because of yoga, I was able to just observe the situation and not get caught up in it and be in the present moment. And I took full advantage. I read so many books, and yeah, it was bad. I fought the case all the way to the Supreme Court. I ended up winning. They let me out a little bit early, and then they ended up sending me back because the appellate court got it wrong, allegedly. And anyway, the point is, this is a whole mess. I went to prison twice for something I did not do. Whatever, different story. But because of yoga, I was able to go in there and face this thing and go through it, and came out of it very positively on the other end. And so this isn't about the story of me going to prison, but I just want you to know that when I went in there, I'm going through a divorce. I lost everything, ended up homeless. I dedicated my life to yoga, and I was able to resolve all of these issues without making them worse, with a calm mind. Unreal. And I was even able to be service of others. That's not because of me, okay? That's because of this practice. There is something called the 8 limbs of yoga. It's called Ashtanga yoga. And the third limb is asana. It's what most people consider physical practice, right? It's the postures. We're going to talk about 1 and 2. The first being the yamas. And this is how you relate to the world, okay? This is how you relate with people around you. The first one is ahimsa, which a lot of times is translated as nonviolence. That's not my preferred translation. I prefer non-harming. And so the first standard in yoga is you don't harm yourself. You don't harm anybody else. Very simple. So any action, any deed, any word, am I going to harm anybody, including myself? Okay. The Buddha, he used to say, before you speak, you should ask yourself 3 questions. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? Before I speak, is what I'm going to say honest? Is it kind? And was it necessary? Satya, truth. Are you honest? When you speak, is it true? I lost my train of thought, Asteya, don't steal. Brahmacharya. This specifically generally talks about your sexual energy, but don't hurt yourself with your sexual energy. Don't hurt others. There's more to it, but today, that's where we're at. You usually water this one down in the West a lot, but in India, it's really strict. Aparigraha. Don't hoard things. Don't take more than you need, right? People are very envious, and anyway, it's a bad idea to be a hoarder. The second in the 8 limbs is the Niyamas, and that's how do you relate to yourself, right? How is your relationship with you? Saucha, purity. Are you pure of heart? How's the purity of your thoughts? What's going on upstairs? Are you very lustful? Do you think about things that hurt you or hurt others? Do you have obsessive thoughts? What needs to be addressed up there? Are you pure of mind? Santosha, are you contented? Are you content with where you are in your life, with what you have, what you possess, all those things, regardless of the circumstance? Are you content? Tapas, spiritual austerity, spiritual hardship. But more importantly, the attitude at which you bring to that hardship, right? So whenever spiritual austerity shows up in your house or to you, do you complain? Do you groan? Or do you joyfully take up your hardship? Svadhyaya, right? Self-study. Non-directed. Are you taking it upon yourself to continue to learn, to be better, right? Instead of spending hours a day on your social media accounts or watching the newest show, did you dedicate some time to improving your mind? The last one, Ishvara Pranadhanhana. Complete and total reliance upon God. It's a strange thing, I've heard a lot of people talk about yoga not being evil. I've heard this quite a bit. Now that I'm on the inside of yoga, I think it's kind of funny because they talk about God a lot. And when you get into the Bhagavad Gita, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but the Bhagavad Gita was written a long time ago, BC, okay? Longest poem ever written. Longer than the Iliad and the Odyssey combined, the Mahabharata, okay? The Bhagavad Gita is a little section of that where a soldier is talking to Krishna, which is an avatar of God, where it's explained to him that all things are God and that there have been many avatars of God. And he talks about them and that Jesus is an avatar of God, right? He didn't say that in the Gita, but anyway, the Indians have a whole view of it. And they say that, Vishnu is just an avatar of God. But if you give your faith and your love to God, this is a very yogic thing to do. So in yoga, you have something called a swami, which is like a religious leader, like a priest. Lots of books. This particular swami is Prajnanapad. And this particular reading is about emotion. Take emotion as emotion, which means disassociate it from the situation that you think is the cause of your emotion. It is a move of attention, no longer paying attention to thoughts connected to the situation, but paying attention to the emotion itself. This is a way to break the mechanical processes of emotion. An event hits my inner world, according to my latent predispositions, it triggers an emotion that then leads to a series of thoughts that follow in the same line as the emotion. Pleasant ideas if it's a pleasant emotion, dark ideas if it's a painful emotion. These thoughts are about the situation that I am making responsible for my inner disturbance. The first piece of work that Swamiji recommends is to break this incorrect association between the emotion and the situation. That is, stop believing that the emotion comes from the situation, to consider the emotion in itself, independent of the situation, to feel it in the moment as it is. So the matter is, momentarily, as long as I am under the impact of emotion, to not think about the situation, and moreover about the emotion either. I welcome it as it is, as an energy appearing within me. Having then tried this from a wrong basis to suppress emotions as soon as they arise, it's a terrible dead end. Emotion is never justified. Does not mean you mustn't have it. It means emotion cannot have any objective justification. That is, one cannot use a situation or an event as a reason to have an emotion. And I'll leave you with that. According to Swamiji, there is no event exterior out of yourself that justifies your emotions. Now, I can feel you pushing back on me right now. I can feel it because it sounds crazy. But as I've investigated this, as I've dived in, I can 100% tell you that everything comes from in here, and it's a response. And therefore, even though I am bipolar and I may have some neurodivergence issues, I'm responsible for this. Okay? It's not my fault, but it is my responsibility, right? And as we get emotion, it's a very yogic principle to just observe it, not be attached to it, just allow it to come. You're not stuffing it. You're just allowing it to pass, just like clouds in the sky. It's here, let it do its thing and let it go. I'm trying to learn how to do this video stuff. And, I welcome your comments. I welcome any suggestions that you guys have. I don't know where this is going. I want to have a yoga related channel, and I'm trying to figure out stuff that makes sense and not be too critical on myself and whatever. But I'm just really grateful to be here, to be alive, to have the opportunity to learn and grow and be with you guys. And anyway, I just wish you all a lovely day. And until we meet again, namaste.